So hey students, today we are going to do some MCQs from breathing and exchange of gases. So let's get started. Oxygen is utilized by the organism to indirectly break down nutrient molecules like glucose and to derive energy performing various activities. Gas which is released during catabolic reaction is respired is CO2, as we already know that it is CO2 which is produced during catabolic reactions. Process of exchange of O2 for atmosphere with CO2 produced by the cells is called breathing. Mechanism of breathing vary among different groups of animals depending mainly upon their habitats and level of organization. Diffusion over their entire body surface is coelentrates flatworms. Okay. Gills is in aquatic arthropods and mollusks. Moist cuticle is for earthworm and tracheal tubes is for insects and vesicle bags for reptiles, birds and mammals. Co- Commonest passes for food and air is pharynx. Glottis is opening of larynx. Structure which is sound production is made up of cartilage. During swallowing, glottis can be covered by a thick fibrous cartilaginous flap called epiglottis. Not false, it's glottis. You can learn it by, as you know, A B C D E F E. 1 minute. As you already know that E, F and G. So you can learn these both. F for flap and G for glottis. Okay. Incomplete cartilaginous rings are present up to the initial bronchioles. Conducting part starts with external nostrils and extend up to terminal bronchioles. What is the significance of pleural fluid? Provide frictionless movement between pleural membrane. Given statements is true or false. Statement is actual site for diffusion of oxygen or CO2 between blood and atmospheric air is exchange part true. Exchange occurs in alveoli. Exchange occurs in alveoli. Okay. Breathing involves two stages: inspiration, during which atmospheric air is drawn in, and expiration, during which alveolar air is released out. You can learn one more thing, like when the diaphragm air comes in, the diaphragm is flat. Okay, when air comes in it, and when it goes out, then it becomes dome shaped. Okay. Movement of air into and out of lungs is carried out by creating pressure gradient between the lungs and the atmosphere. Expiration takes place when intrapleural pressure is higher than the atmospheric pressure. As P is, one more thing is that P is inversely proportional to V. Okay. So when pressure increases, volume decreases. Pressure when increases, it's during expiration. And here relax. Okay. And pressure decreases and volume increases as it contracts during inspiration. Okay. These are the facts which you have to learn. Tidal volume, it is 500 ml. Expiratory reserve volume is, as you can see, 1100 to 1200. Inspiratory capacity is 3000 ml. Vital capacity is 4200. Residual volume is 1200 ml, and functional residual capacity is 1 minute. You can learn all this by I have something for all of you. Okay, firstly, tv is 500 ml, irv is 2500 to 3000 ml, and erv is 1000 to 1100 ml. And then comes residual volume, which is 1100 to 1200 ml. Okay, and now capacities. Inspiratory capacity is equal to tv plus irv. Okay, ec equal to tv plus erv, and frc is tv 1 minute, rv frc is rv plus erv. Okay, this is very important for all of us. And one more thing is that while learning the capacity, all you have to learn is normal. All things are normal, like the definition of frc is the air which remains in the lung after normal expiration. So here normal comes. So while learning the capacities, you have to think over normal, and while learning the volumes, you have to think over forcefuls. Okay, forceful expiration or inspiration. Okay, simple diffusion mainly based on pressure, concentration gradient, solubility of gases, thickness of membrane involved in diffusion. The diffusion membrane is made up of endothelium of alveolar capillaries and basement substances in between capillaries and alveoli. Alveoli are made up of squamous epithelium, squamous epithelium, Okay, least amount of CO2 is carried out in dissolved state through plasma, as it's only 7%. You can learn how much is CO2. Okay, firstly, in the bicarbonate form, it's mostly in bicarbonate form, and then with rbc is 23%, and in plasma it's only 7%. Okay, so it's 70% as bicarbonate. And in the what we can learn is O2. 1 minute. O2 from rbc it's 97%, and through plasma it's 3%. Okay, plasma it's 3%. Now factors through those interfere with the binding of O2 with hemoglobins are partial pressure of CO2, H plus concentration, and temperature. And one more thing is oxygen dissociation curves. Okay, when it goes left and when it goes right, like it's a sigmoid curve, as you all know. Sigmoid curve. 1 minute. When it come right, whenever it come towards right directions, when H plus concentration increases, CO2 increases, temperature increases. Okay, and when it comes in left towards left, its H plus concentration decreases, temperature decreases, CO2 concentration decreases. Okay, and O2 concentration increases. And in case of fetal HB, it's towards left, and whenever it goes towards left, binding of O2 occurs, binding O2 of O2. And when it comes right, then dissociation or dissociation of O2 occurs. Okay, means that O2 is supplied to the tissue when the graph comes towards right. Dissociation of O2 occurs from the hemoglobin. Okay, now we're gonna see more questions. O2 dissociation curve is a sigmoid curve. Factors which is favorable for formation of oxyhemoglobin are less H plus concentration and high PO2 and low PCO2. Under normal physiological condition, every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver 5 ml of O2, 5 liter of O2, I think so. 1 minute. Dissociation of CO2 from carbaminohemoglobin takes place when PO2 is low and PO2 is high and PCO2 is low. At the tissue site where the partial pressure of CO2 is high and CO2 diffused into blood and forms bicarbonate ion and H plus. Every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood transports how much amount of CO2? It's 4 ml. Human beings have ability to maintain and moderate the rhythmic rhythm of respiration by the help of neural system. Respiratory rhythm center is present in medulla oblongata. Center which can moderate the function of respiratory rhythm center is located in pons. Chemosensitive area sends signal to make necessary adjustment for respiration to respiratory rhythm center. Oxygen dissociation curve is a sigmoid curve. Least amount of CO2 is carried out in dissolved state through plasma. Okay. Aortic arch and carotid artery receptors are recognized changes in CO2 and H plus. You have to learn that CO. What are the factors which influence it? Okay, CO2 and H plus. CO2 and H plus. Learn it. Asthma is wheezing due to 1 minute. Asthma is wheezing due to inflammation of bronchi and bronchiole. Emphysema is alveolar wall damage due to cigarette smoking, and occupational respiratory disorder is due inflammation leading to fibrosis. Long exposure to dust can give rise to inflammation leading to proliferation of fibrous tissue in lungs. A is basement substance, B is alveolar wall, and C is RBC. Okay. Now, the next slide, as we have here, what A is 1 minute. Here you can see like A is 104 and B is 40, and C is pulmonary artery and D is pulmonary vein, and E is systemic vein. A is volume of thorax decreased as it occurs in during expiration. As you can see, the arch is like this. And B is ribs and sternum return to their original forms as occurs during relaxation, as I told you earlier. And C is diaphragm relaxed. Okay, so in the next segment we will see body fluids and circulation. So all the best to all of you for Neet 2021. All the best. Bye bye.